Every Pokemon game has that first route with only a select few of Pokemon in it. Hoenn has Zigzagoon, Pooch, and Wurmple, while Kalos has all these guys. For the most part, aside from later games, Route 1 is always about 3 to 4 Pokemon, and some are good while others are, well, bad. That being said, I decided to do a hardcore Nuzlocke in Pokemon Black using only Route 1 Pokemon. Unova really stood out to me because you do have those usual Route 1 Pokemon, you know, your normal types, but they're actually pretty good. My first time playing through Black was with Stoutland, and that thing demolished the region. I've never used Watchog or Audino, so I wanted to see how those would play out as well. But I think what stood out to me the most was the fact that Route 1 has an additional selection later on when you get the HM for Surf. You get 2 more encounters, that being Scraggy and Basculin. Not Pokemon you'd regularly have in normal Route 1s. And Scraggy especially surprised me when I saw it was there. But yeah, I really wanted to see how this team performed together, and I just needed to revisit the original Gen 5 game since I actually really like the story better than the sequels. So without further ado, let's see if we could beat Pokemon Black with only Route 1 Pokemon. Well, anyways, we start off in Unova picking our starter in our very own room. Of course, with my pals Bianca and Cheren. Of course, 2 heated Pokemon matches later is gonna do this to my room. These guys were probably dodging attacks running on the wall so fast. I feel like there's more details in the originals than in the sequels. Look at those birds just fly away with the sunshine. I could just be missing little things like this in Black and White too, but whatever. Now, of course, this won't be a traditional Nuzlocke in the sense of 1 encounter per route, as we're only using Route 1 Pokemon. So I'm just gonna catch all of them when I have access to them. For right now, we have access to Patrat, who I named Ed, and this Lillipup, who I named Naz. Hopefully some of you can guess the nickname theme throughout the run. Let me know if you do. Now, Basculin and Scraggy will be found later, like I said, and I didn't know in the moment, but the Rustling Grass feature, which gives Audino, starts appearing after the first gym. So I'll come back for him later. You know, I think people might listen to you guys more if you didn't wear those awful outfits. Now, my first fight with Bianca, I tried to bide, and she got a crit, but luckily the AI is dumb and used Leer, so this thing got destroyed. And Bacon here wasn't too hard. For our Cheren fight, I didn't bide, I just did some damage, and Naz took care at the end. I always thought of this first gym as a really cool concept. The gym leader you fight is going to be dependent on which starter you chose. I chose Oshawott, so I get to battle Silent. He leads a Lillipup as I lead Ed. We can easily outdamage it with Tackle because he's using Bite, which isn't even Stab. Alright, that is if he didn't crit here. I obviously need to switch, and Naz here takes a Vine Whip pretty well. From there, he works up so I can get a free tackle on him, and 1 more Vine Whip from him can let us pop our Oranberry. We live 1 more, and that's the battle. Not too hard. Directly after this, I searched for some Rustling Grass, and this actually took some time to get, but I named Audino Eddie. On to Route 3, where I forgot there was a Cheren fight, so I had some health gone at the start, but unfortunately Cheren tried to grope this Snivy to some massive gains, and it died. Purloin also wasn't very impressive. In fact, a lot of Cheren and Bianca fights go this way. Right after this battle, Naz evolved into a Herdier, which was great. I didn't realize it was this early into the game. N is also another one who's pretty easy before the main fight at the end, but his pit of Nacrene City nearly killed Ed here. Aside from that, Naz cleaned up everything else on his team. Ah, Nacrene City. This place gives me heavy nostalgia. Oh wow, that's an Armaldo. I never noticed that. Ed does evolve at the cap, which is nice, and we lead Naz for a big Intimidate drop on Lenora's Herdier. With that attack drop, I went straight into Eddie and back into Naz for a second Intimidate drop. I do this 3 more times, making sure I have a berry on Naz to be able to live all those takedowns. This was 5 Intimidates total so that Ed Boy here can come in, take no damage, and get a nice Hypnosis off. Now we just get 2 workups off, and Hypnosis after he wakes up for another 2 workups. I did try to Hypnosis a 3rd time, but I straight up missed 7 times in a row before I finally got it off on the 8th turn. I definitely should have just finished setting up, and thankfully I did have a berry, but I'm a stubborn guy, so I just had to prove to her that my Watchog wasn't worthless. But I don't know, Ed, that was kind of pathetic. We might have to put you in timeout. Anyways, I finished setting up to +6, which we needed to be able to take out her own Watchog in 1 shot, and thankfully she didn't wake up, so after a crunch for you and a crunch for you wins us the battle. I've always loved this cinematic. The first time I saw this, it was revolutionary. Upon arriving in Castelia City, we can go ahead and take on Berg. Berg starts off with a Whirlipede, and I basically did the same thing with him as with Lenora. Switched into Naz for an Intimidate, and then Ed comes in to work up to +5 attack. From there, a Retaliate can one-shot every single Pokemon on his team. Now, if I don't include every single Bianca and Cheren fight, it's because I just straight up swept them with no close calls. Alright, the same goes for N. You know, everybody talks about the Driftvale theme for Gen 5, but honestly, the Nimbasa City theme is just as good. I be jamming this song in the shower all the time. Speaking of Nimbasa City, we can actually get the TM for return, which is huge since we have 3 normal types on the team. We also get Reflect and Light Screen, which is useful since we can lead Audino to get a Light Screen up while Elisa Volt switches into her Emolga. That way we can go into Ed put one of the Emogos to sleep, work up twice, and a single return could take out the first Emoga. The second one gets a mean Volt Switch off, and that means Substrika is out and kill it in one shot. Emoga does outspeed us, so I went into Eddie to get both screens up, and then I just went into Naz to return her down to the red, and she healed. After 2 more, we finally won the fight. No, I agree with your dad. How are our parents gonna let us go out into the world on our own at like 14? Our next gym fight is Clay in Driftvale, and before we take him on, Naz evolved into a big fluffy Yorkie. Clay was actually the easiest fight yet, with Ed one-shotting his Krokorok and setting up one workup on Palpitoad to one-shot that and extra throw with Dig. Skyla, how are you wearing that? It's pouring outside. Put a coat on. Honestly, Skyla was a pretty easy fight, just like the rest of them. I worked up to +2, and from there, everything got absolutely blown away. No pun intended. Alright, I don't remember these games being this easy. It's funny because I had Thunderfang on it, but Return is just too good of a move, especially on a normal type. Hey man, are you just stalking me now? Casually waiting outside for me to finish my gym battle? Charon, man, you really gotta stop getting swept by me. It's kind of pathetic. That's why you end up becoming a gym leader and not a champion. Anyway, since we now have Surf, we can go back to Route 1 to catch a Basculin. I named him Kevin and he has adaptability, which I didn't even know about, but honestly, I didn't use Kevin until the very end. I found a Scraggy in this grass and named him Plank. He didn't have Intimidate, but Moxie is still good in some cases. You know, I remember Twist Mountain being so annoying to get through as a child, but if it's winter, you can actually just ignore all of the nonsense and get right through it. I wish I knew that as a kid. Now, I've said every gym has been easy up to this point, and to make matters worse, the 7th gym is an Ice-type gym. On top of that, we just got Scraggy, and on top of that, he evolved right at the level cap. Okay, what kind of gym puzzle is this? This is so dangerous. I can't even see the floor. I mean, do I even have to explain this battle? After one Moxie boost, everything is just demolished by Brick Break. Like, Ice-type gym leaders really need to be put in the beginning of the game instead of the dead last. Or they could just buff the type as well. That could help. I will say the story of this game is amazing. Look how Zekrom just scoops him up. Even this was a big deal back in the day. Getsus, you just have this face that I just want to punch. Anyone else feel that way? I just want to sock him in the mouth. So Drayden is our final gym fight before the Elite Four. His Fracture uses Dragon Dance, which lets us get a free Brick Break off, but what's weird is he uses Dragon Rage next turn. Like, what was the point of that? Anyways, one more kills him and his Druddigon is up. It did live a Brick Break, even with a Moxie boost, but luckily we're defensive and don't die even after that Rough Skin ability. I was in no shape to take on Haxorus, so I switched into Naz, who can get an Intimidate off, and then he Dragon Tails me into Kevin. I switched again into Naz for an Intimidate drop, and he used Dragon Dance, which means we won't be forced out. He uses it again, and a return can get him to the red. He is going to heal, and another return actually gets a crit, ending the battle right there. Now, everything has been easy up until this point, but for some reason, for our final fight with Charon, he has items on all of his Pokemon. The scary item is a Scope Lens on Unpheasant, and Razor Rend with that high crit chance, and on top of those two things, his ability is Super Luck. I don't know why this battle is like this, since not even the Elite Four members have any items on their Pokemon, and neither do N or his father. Anyways, Naz here got a workup off as he went for a Razor Wind. I set up another one as he does nothing to us, then I got up a third one as he detected, and finally a return can sweep his entire team. Oh, come on! The coil actually saved him. I didn't think he would be faster since I have max speed EVs on Stoutland, and wow, that Leaf Blade nearly killed me. Calm down there, Charon. The good news is nothing else can outspeed, so Simipour and Liepard get mopped. Alright, I really thought Superior had like base 80 speed. My fault. What if the air just like turns off? Then what? This whole region is filled with safety hazards. Alright, enough training as an airbender. It's time to face the Elite Four. So this Elite Four is somewhat simple for us, except for Marshall, which is why I had to fight him first. I really tried to come up with something that didn't rely on me using Sand Attack, but I just couldn't. So that's what we're gonna do. I retaught Sand Attack to Ed and Plank as well, just in case Ed dies. Marshall leads with a throw, and I can't just reflect since he has Storm Throw, and well, that move crits every time, and that includes screens. I can't just burn it with Scald because it's by chance, and this thing also has Guts. And I can't just Roar him out because Roar has -6 priority. And if we do happen to get a Roar off and get it into the wrong Pokemon, then it's pretty much GG's. So I've started off with Sand Attacking him all the way down to -6 accuracy. A Storm Throw from full would leave us at like 1 HP, but he was just using Bulldoze and missing in the process, except for like 2 of them. I kinda expected Ed to just die here, which is why I put Sand Attack on Plank in case, but luckily we survived and went in for free on Eddie, so now I could set up a Reflect. I also have the Light Clay, so this Reflect is 8 turns. From there I go into Naz, who gets an Intimidate drop on Throw in case he magically hits a Storm Throw. Oh wait, it doesn't matter since the move crits no matter what. Now if you're wondering why I'm poisoned, it's because I poisoned myself before this so that Facade would do double damage, plus it's a stab move, and we have max attack EVs. All it needed to do was get 2 workups off, which we did safely, and 1 Facade kills Throw, 1 Facade kills Conkeldurr, and one kills Mienshao. For Sock, it does have Sturdy and Poison is whittling us down, so I decided it was safer to just go into Teddy to get up another Reflect since ours ran out on the switch in anyways. One Reflect up later after taking a scary Karate Chop, and I send out Kevin, whose Aqua Tail is actually a one-shot, but of course he does have that Sturdy since he healed before. He does have one more potion, so I Aqua Jetted and then one final Aqua Tail, and that is the hardest fight we have in here. Honestly, I don't think there was any other strat there. We're also lucky Sock was last. I don't know why he was last, but it worked out great. It might have been because the AI didn't see a KO with Karate Chop, whereas with the others, it did, or damn well close to it. Up next is Caitlyn, since she's super easy to take down. She leads Reuniclus as I lead Beautiful Eddie. I got up a light screen and her Focus Blast did absolutely nothing. From here I went into Plank, who took a little more from it, but we were fine. We do outspeed, getting a Black Glass's boosted Crunch off, which is needed to one-shot here. Sigilift's Air Slash thankfully doesn't crit, but it does flinch us. On the bright side though, she missed her next one, meaning a Crunch can take it out in one shot. Up next was Gothitelle, and it went for a Calm Mind, so that's out as well. And of course, Musharna is slow just like Reuniclus, so goodbye whatever the hell you are. Grimsley has Dark types, and Plank was up again for this one. I was really hoping he didn't go for that Sand Attack, but he did, which is scary since I did click High Jump Kick. All is well though, since we did hit it and I needed to use High Jump Kick in order to KO Scrafty in a single kick. We get a Moxie boost and Life Part is up. It did fake us out and attracted us, but Plank ain't a simp and a single Break is enough to KO. Bisharp is up next, and after taking an Aerial Ace, one Brick KO'd him as well. Finally, Crook was up, and I did have EVs in defense, so we were just hoping he didn't crit, and he didn't, so one Brick can wrap this battle right up. Our final Elite 4 member was up, and it was Chantal. So I let Eddie for this fight to get off a light screen as she burned me. I then used Simple Beam to change her Mummy ability to Simple so that Plank could get his Moxie boost without being affected by Mummy. Anyways, from there I go into the one and only on a Psychic, which was amazing since we're immune. I used Crunch and I was expecting a Will-O-Wisp, which I had a Rossberry for, but instead she just used Grass Knot, which was weird. She did heal since one Crunch couldn't kill, but after a few tries we can take the Coffin out. Now she did send out Golurk next, and it did use Brick Break, which I didn't plan for, and it broke our light screen, which is bad. But either way, a single Crunch can take care of this thing easy. A Fire Blast with no light screen here is terrible, so I just went into Kev to sack him. We took a lot from Fire Blast and even got burned and ate a Citrus Berry. After that, I went for a Scald for some damage, and she actually missed her Fire Blast, which was huge, since another Scald can take her right out. Good job, Kevin. I figured I might as well let Kevin live, so I went into Eddie for Jellicent, and that ended poorly, so I had to go into Naz, who thankfully came in on a Brine, since Eddie was so weak. Never let your guard down, Chantal. I did Crunch with Naz, getting her to half, but her Surf plus Poison left us super weak, meaning I had to go into Ed, who could hopefully take a hit. We took half from a Surf, and boom. Down goes Jellicent to Ed's big old teeth. We beat the Elite Four, and it was time to fight the champion. Psych, we don't fight the champion. No, instead, this huge castle that no one knew existed just pops out from the floor and destroyed the league's walls. Like, what kind of plot twist is this? You know, while I do love how involved the gym leaders are in the story in these games, what are the Elite Four doing right now? Like, did I just whoop them so hard that they have no Pokemon to fight with? Anyways, it's time to fight what is essentially two champions back to back after catching this beast of a legendary, which I did box, by the way. Sorry, pal. But yeah, End leads his Zekrom, which is the scariest thing on the team. I made sure to lead Eddie, who can set up a Reflect after taking a sizable chunk from Fusion Bolt. From there I went into Naz, who tanked the Fusion Bolt and started working up. On our first workup, he actually used Light Screen, which was good, and then I did two more workups, which on the third one we popped a Citrus Berry. I got one more off after that and we took a Giga Impact. One return was able to destroy Zekrom in one shot. This says Klinkling, but it's actually a Zoroark, and a return can one-shot that. This is actual Klinkling, so one dig can knock that out. Vanillix is, well, a Vanillix. And of course someone has to ruin the fun with the Sturdy. Fortunately though, he missed a big Stone Edge, meaning after he healed, we returned twice for the KO on this turtle. Now I definitely die from Arceus since this thing is just insane, so I just sent out Ed to take one for the team. You fought with honor, Ed. This way now Kevin can come in and a single waterfall can KO this bird from full. Finally, Kevin is getting some real action. Oh come on now, Getsus. Let's not be calling your son useless now. That's kinda messed up. He tried to please you the best he could. He knows you're psycho, just ask him. So Getsus leads a Cropagrigus, and this one actually has Toxic instead of Will-O-Wisp. Eddie was still in the front of the party from the end fight, which is great since I wouldn't have it any other way. We get both screens up as he toxics us, and then we Simple Beam to get rid of that Mummy ability once more. You guys know where this is going. Then while he used Protect, I got into Plank for free. I was able to crunch him to below half, but then he poisoned us and I didn't actually have a Pecha Berry, so now we're on a timer and he protected next turn. One more crunch and the coffin is down again and this beast comes out. We did get a Moxie boost, so I went for a Brick Break, But first his focus blast hits and did loads of damage, even with some special bulk and a light screen up. We popped our Citrus Berry and a single brick break was enough to, oh my god, how did he live that? I knew he was going to heal, so I went straight for the high jump kick for the guaranteed KO, and we did happen to hit it, but unfortunately this means that Plank is going to go down. This kind of worked out though, since Reflect and Light Screen ran out at the perfect time for Eddie to go in for free on Buffling. I set up a Reflect and a Light Screen, sacking cool old Eddie, and from here I was thinking Naz, but then I was like, hold on. Kevin with max attack and adaptability, there's no way we can't do some damage, especially with screens up. So I sent out Kevin, and a waterfall did end up doing half as we took a big wild charge doing half to us, which let us eat our Citrus Berry. From there, one more waterfall can KO and Electros comes out. I fully expected this thing to go for a wild charge as well, but it instead went for an acrobatic, so 2 waterfalls also killed him. I actually don't know if wild charge would have killed or not from where we were at with screens up. At this point though, I wasn't worried since we still had Naz in the back who could take care of everyone else with return. Anyway, Seismitoad actually ended up dying to a crit, which was huge for Kevin's ego. But even if we didn't, we totally won the fight either way at this point. Bisharp was his final Pokemon, and Waterfall did half just like the rest, and his Night Slash didn't crit, leaving us at just 18 HP. Meaning, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin just took out more than half of his team thanks to Eddie. From underdog to MVP in one match. I was actually really excited when I was playing. I was in utter shock since he was barely doing anything from the moment I caught him. Anyways, that's it. We beat Pokemon Black with Route 1 Pokemon only. And I gotta say, I love how the game ends off with N talking to you and the credits just hit and the music starts rolling. You know, instead of the usual beat the champion, Hall of Fame, rinse, repeat stuff we always get. Can only dream we get something like this again. But yeah, that was a super fun challenge, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching as much as I did playing. But anyways, subscribe if you're new and like the video. And bye guys.